Today on Lynn's Warriors, we are so honored to welcome Layne Shill to discuss the newly launched Parent Center at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. You hear me all the time talk about NCOSE, NCOSE, and the Parent Center. This is why parents across America, they are seeking one-stop shopping. I think, Layne, that's what I'll say, one-stop shopping, where they can search for guidance, they can search for tools, support. We're sitting on top of AI right now. We're already in it. We're not even sitting on top of it, using AI tool. Layne is here to discuss everything going on that will help us all protect children from online exploitation, digital harm. Layne is the director of the Parent Center, created by parents for parents. That is what I love. So parents today, I know you know this, Layne, but for our warriors listening, everybody's navigating this environment that is just no other previous generation has ever faced anything like we're seeing today. And children are growing up surrounded by smartphones and social media and all kinds of online grooming, predation, pornography exposure is rampant. Oh my goodness. AI manipulation and algorithms, these algorithms driving platforms, competing constantly for the attention of kids. And it's affecting everybody's emotional well-being, not only the children, the parents also. So we're going to come together and form partnerships. I like to say family digital partnerships. But the question many families are asking right now, Layne, is very simple. How do we as parents, I'm going to throw in as grandparents, because we work with a lot of grandparents that are helping in the families with the kids. How are we reclaiming authority and protecting children in this kind of new world, increasingly designed to bypass parents and the family unit? So that's what we're going to discuss. So I'm going to say the website is parentcenter.org. I'm just going to let Layne talk because I could talk about this stuff for hours. So welcome, Layne Shill, to the Warriors.
Thank you. So happy to be here, Lynn. I appreciate the invitation.
No, I'm so excited. But I want to start with a little something before we get into the nitty gritty, as I say. Tell us about Layne. Anything you want to share about yourself, just whatever you want to share.
Yes, happy to. So I have been with NCOSE, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, for about 2.5 years now, working on the Parent Center that whole time. I came to NCOSE with an interest in preventing exploitation and their specific focus on prevention. I studied social impact in college, and I spent some time in Russia before that. And that's where I interacted for the first time with formerly prostituted women who'd been exploited in this way. And it opened my eyes to this reality that I'd only ever heard and seen about on movies, television, and became friends with these women and saw what they'd gone through and came home wanting to really do something about it. So obviously in my search, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation came up, and I loved their focus on preventing harm before it occurs. And now with this ever-changing technological world, I see so much harm happening to children. I think that they're the results of so much exploitation, and the Parent Center was designed to help prevent that harm before it occurs. So that's kind of been a thread throughout my life of that prevention aspect, and specifically now helping children and helping parents get answers so that they can protect their kids. So that's what brought me to NCOSE, and I've loved my work here and love the Parent Center and what it's all about.
Yeah, well, we're going to be after you like every day with the Parent Center because it's so needed. I mean, this is what, because Layne, I used to I go into schools and places of worship and community centers and teach things, and it was always more the kids. But then like 2 years ago, I'm like, you know what? Here's what's lacking: the parents. It has to be like an overall. The kids have to learn, the parents have to learn, and then they have to all learn together. But it took me until about 2 years ago to realize they're the ones that really need a lot of help. The kids are very savvy with technology, right?
They are.
Forget the exploitation for a minute. Like they're all savvy, knowing all kinds of things, right? But the parents. And so it occurred to me, Layne, that, when somebody gets frustrated, overwhelmed, they don't understand something, they'll shut the door, close their eyes, and they won't address it. And that's what these predators want everybody to do, right? So we are knocking on that door and opening that right up. So let's jump in. Tell us about the Parent Center. So you already said, now you were developing this for about 2.5 years?
4. It's been 4. The Parent Center itself has been 4 years in the making. I came in about 2.5 years ago. So it started not with the technology, but it started with conversations with parents And those conversations were led by Jill Geigel. She's a strategic advisor to the Parent Center now, but she started having those conversations with parents. NCOSE was getting a lot of calls. What do I do
Yeah.
about this situation? My child's dealing with this. What do I do? And we're doing a lot of help one-on-one, situation by situation. But we got to this point where we realized, kind of like you mentioned, Lynn, there's parents out there and they have no idea what to do. And there's so many of them. Like, what do we do? And so Jill started having conversations with parents across the country, asking them, what are you going through? What are you seeing? And what do you need? And the biggest thing that we were able to pull from that was they want one place, that one-stop shop you referred to, where they can come, they can get answers, they can get resources, they can know exactly how to protect their child when the harm has occurred or to prevent harm. I remember Jill, she always refers to this one man who she thinks put it best. He said, I just wish there was a big button I could push and it will just tell me exactly what to do to help my kid right then. And that's what we've been trying to create. We're dealing with probably the most overwhelmed group of people, parents. They have so much on their plate, very little time, a lot going on. And we wanted to provide a resource for them where they could get help and know how to prevent harm in their home and help their children right away. And we want it to just be in one place and make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah. And as you pointed out, I mean, parents do because I've heard that a lot. Like, okay, I want to go to one place. There's information, all kinds of information on the internet. And you know this, Layne, like today, is this trusted information? Is you see things on Instagram, things are on TikTok. So now having a vetted site, right? The Parent Center under the umbrella of NCOSE, which is just fantastic. They're great friends and colleagues of ours at the Warriors. It's that push one button. So I'm going to steal that line because it's going to be like, I'm going to have like a big red button, just go at Parent Center. And that's going to be my visual for I'm just telling you, I'm doing that with that. Because people like it's easy if you go to one place. You're not all over the place. One place, it'll have all the resources. Now tell us.
Trusted.
Now let's walk it back a second. Tell us what you think. What are you hearing? What do you know about parents right now? What are they reporting, feeling? It's kind of a loaded question, but like overwhelmed right now. I'm always like, people are trying to put food on the table, pay the bills, and take care of their kids. My bottom line. What are you hearing?
Yes, exactly that. They're overwhelmed. I think that's the biggest thing that we are hearing. And they are recognizing that they can't keep up with the speed of technology. I think that parents, they have the best of intentions and they want to help their children, but things change so fast and children are really smart and they don't always have the big picture. Like they are having chats online or they're downloading certain things online. They can't understand why that might be harmful initially. And then they end up in situations you would never want your child in. And parents trying their best just don't know what to do. And I think they're always out looking for good resources. And there's so many good resources out there. But being able to distinguish a good resource from something that's not trusted is scary. And we want to take that away from parents, make it easier there. And also knowing where to find them. Like, where do you even look? My child just had an image of them uploaded on the internet. What do I do? Like, that's a really scary situation. Who do you call? And we want to help parents in those moments.
Well, yeah, I'm even real basic. I'm like, everybody should have like a flash card. I'm dating myself a little bit. No, I'm serious. Like on the side of the refrigerator, visible. And we pray and hope nobody ever needs it. But because I've heard too many times, Layne, like in that moment, parents or caregivers will panic and then they don't do anything. So even we hope you don't need, phone numbers, or 1-800 the lost, or we hope you don't need, the 988, the suicide life and prevention awareness number, or the human trafficking hotline, or any of that, right? Local FBI. But I think, do you agree with me? I think everybody should. They have a duty. If you have kids, I think you should have these phone numbers handy and just be aware of these things. So when you're in that shock moment, you know exactly what to do. That's what I'm teaching now. So do you agree with that? I think that's what we have to do these days.
I think so too. And right now, if you come to the Parent Center and you type in a question or a situation, like you just mentioned, those numbers will just pop up right there for you. So I agree. Having them on hand always is important. But if for whatever reason you don't remember them, you don't know them, just coming to the Parent Center, you can quickly get them as well.
Yeah, I'll revise my refrigerator list. It'll just be like, the Parent Center. And then brainwash everybody and force them to go to that one-stop shopping, as I pointed out. Okay, now there's so many dangers online.
Mm.
What concerns you the most right now? I know this is another question because there's so many dangers and predators and all that, but what are you focused on at this minute?
I think that there are so many dangers, but AI companions is one that
Yes.
is a
Frightening.
big danger right now, and everyone's trying to learn how to navigate. And that was something that we've been very conscious of building this tool, which is an AI tool, the dangers of AI companions. And I think that that's something that parents need to be aware of on AI companions, children developing relationships, the empathy, the connection that all fake, but comes through these tools is something to very much be aware of. And our tool's different from those in that the audience is parents, and the only resources our tool will reference are those that are NCOSE approved and trusted. But that's what we've been seeing a lot of people asking questions about on our tool. We're able to see like what's concerning parents right now based on what's coming into the tool, and a lot of concerns around AI companionship.
I really think what really the most frightening thing right now, because we're already seeing the effects, children who've been harmed, right?
Mhm.
We've seen, despite all the devices, kids have access to, at least the last study I saw, ages 9 to 17, access to 4 devices in their houses, the Chromebooks and gaming and all this. Might be different by now because that's about 2 years old by now. But now we've got these, I call them machines, chat companions, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you why I say that, Layne, because they're not real.
No.
And I have to try to cut through to the public, like, they're not real, they cannot feel, right? And so
Mhm.
I just say they're a machine. And so it's the
Right,
most frightening thing we had last holiday season. These AI toys came forward.
right.
Where they started rolling those out, and I'm like, "Oh, no." I'm hearing all the companies, even Mattel and Hasbro, for this holiday season will be rolling out more. So I think you're right on the mark about these chatbots and these companions. It sounds cute,
Mhm.
right? A chatbot. What child wouldn't, and we even have adults getting involved with this, but what child wouldn't wanna, play around at home and develop a little friend and have that little friend tell them how handsome or smart they are or
But
pretty,
they're not built with safety in mind at all.
until they tell you
So
to go in the kitchen and get a knife or something and do
right.
something dangerous, which that's a true story.
Mhm.
Yes, I think everybody should be on the lookout definitely for that. Talk to us a little bit more about this when you say AI tool, so our warriors understand really exactly what you mean by that.
Yes, so the Parent Center is an online platform, a website, parentcenter.org, where parents can come, and on this website, there is an AI tool. So similar to other tools you might see, such as ChatGPT or Claude, you type in a question, push enter, and you get a response. The difference between our tool and other tools on the internet is that ours can only pull from a closed book of resources. And those resources are ones that the Parent Center trusts, that NCOSE trusts, that we've met with these organizations, and we want their information on our AI tool. So if you ask a question such as, my child was just sent a nude image, what do I do? How do I talk to my child about this? You'll get a quick answer with conversation help, conversation guidelines, and a bunch of links out to other resources um, that will help you know what to do next, such as Protect Young Eyes or Angel Q or Thorn. And you can click for more information. These great resources that have guidelines, they have information on what apps are safe, why they're not safe, things like that. So it's a way for parents to come and get really quick help in that
Yeah.
way.
But I wanna stress the point of kind of this vetted
Right.
information where normal, chat, online, AI, whatever we're calling it these days, they scrape the internet.
They
So
do.
all of that information could be correct, could not be correct. We don't really know where it's all coming from, but I like to say they're
Right.
scraping the internet. So now we have on, the Parent Center, this very well-oiled machine that's gonna give correct information, correct resources, and right away. So what
Mhm.
could be more perfect than that? So I think
Yes.
this is, yeah, right? Because it's right away, you're directed. Again, I keep thinking about parents who have told me, like, in the moment, they freeze, they don't know what to do. Even
Yeah.
even if they've had, like, a tutorial or a lesson, they're so
Yeah.
shocked a lot that
Yeah.
they
My
kind of
child.
freeze.
Yeah,
Right.
that's something I read
Oh,
about in the news, but my
yeah.
child. Yeah.
Right. Or, they actually say to me a lot, I don't know if you hear this, like, my child would never do that.
Hmm.
And there's something called parental autonomy. So we're not judging here. We're trying to help and
Right.
educate and make everything easy for everybody. That's our
Right.
job, right? Making it, easier for overwhelmed parents in this overwhelming environment, because these games and apps are popping up every single day. And
Hmm.
even all the technologists we work with, they're like, Lynn, we can't even keep up with it. It's
Yeah.
like just coming at us right and left. Okay, so we're getting through that. I like this idea with the AI, and that's you know, immediate answers, and it's well vetted. Um,
Hmm.
let's explain a little more why today, more than ever, parental involvement, a trusted adult. I'll tell you why I say that, Layne. I'm here in New York City. We
Hmm.
actually have a lot of families now. The grandmas are raising the kids. We have older siblings raising the kids. It's not that traditional, maybe dynamic, that family.
Hmm.
I try to include everybody, like I say caregivers and talk like that, because this is for everybody, right? We say parents,
It
but
is.
it's for everybody.
It is.
Why is parental involvement right now more important than ever?
I think because children aren't aware of what harms are happening to them often, and parental involvement's necessary because it allows parents to see what's happening to their child, to be able to answer the questions that their child has, and to be able to protect them in a better way. I think that we're in a time previous generations have never had to navigate, from online grooming to sextortion to pornography exposure. It's not a matter of if, but when children come across these things. And I think many parents feel very isolated and intimidated by technology in general. And it's important now for parents to get involved and so they can be more informed and more confident and feel less alone as they navigate these conversations that are inevitable.
Yeah. I don't think parents realize it's kind of I want your opinion on this, right?
Mhm.
Again, there's something called parental autonomy. So we can suggest delay is the way, or, because it's up to a parent when they want to buy a phone or
Yeah,
gaming or,
right.
iPad. But, so I think they unwillingly are not educated about the dangers. And I don't understand, Layne, like in my day, like
Mhm.
we don't forget. And I could be like your grandmother, okay, by my age. No, but I mean, there was like stranger danger. Like it still
Yeah.
sticks with me, stranger danger. Those
Yes.
kind of even I'll say like it's a little bit different, but I'll digress. But it's like you have to wear a seatbelt, you have to wear the bicycle helmet, you don't
Uh-huh.
drink and drive, all those little things. But there's something about the internet, right? You hand a child a device, people don't understand you're handing them the world. You're opening them up to strangers. And
Mhm.
I can't understand why there's pushback against that. Is it just because they really think not my child kind of thing? But it's opening your front door, like not locking it and saying, come on in, strangers, come on in and play with my
Right.
child. Right.
Right.
So what do you hear about any of that? Because I can't get answers to why. Because we want to lock our front doors and make our kids safe.
Yes. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of parents not totally understanding just how dangerous these things are. But at the same time, I think, to your point about parents just kind of shutting down and not knowing what to do next, I think that we put so much pressure on parents to protect their children, which of course they should and they want to. Um, but there's just so much harm.
Yes.
I think that there needs to be a shift in putting this on the tech companies
Yes.
to
Yes.
create things with safety in mind. Like, we think of an airplane, if it fell out of the sky, then the airplane companies would be in so much trouble. If, a car malfunction, the car companies would be in so much trouble. But right now, these AI companions, these tech platforms are malfunctioning in that they're harming our children in terrible ways. And we're saying, oh, the parents need to just do more. The parents need to just like help out more, be more involved, be more aware. And obviously, we want parents to be as aware and involved as possible. But at some point, it comes back to, well, what are the tech companies doing? Like, this is in your control. And we know that these companies know about harms that are happening on their platforms, but they're not doing anything about that. And that truly that truly makes me so sick. And the other part of the parent center when this was created was we wanted to gather parents together to go get these tech platforms to change, for these laws to change. We go right now, NCOSE has a lot of work they do on Capitol Hill, and we talk to these senators, these people there, and we say to them, we need this law to change. This will protect kids. We need this tech company held accountable. And they nod their head and say, okay, this is great to hear. We hear you. But if this is really so important, where are the parents? Like, where are the parents who are dealing with this? And I could tell you where the parents are. They're at home trying to set screen time limits or trying to have a conversation about a topic they don't fully understand. But the Parent Center, in addition to helping parents and giving them answers, is a way for us to gather parents to get together and to in ways that are easy actions for them to take, get their thoughts to Capitol Hill, and so that the accountability can be put on who it should be put on.
So, Layne, I'm saying this, not you. So big tech, there is no accountability right now. I mean,
Right.
they fall under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act until we
Mhm.
sunset that from 1996. A lot has changed in 30 years, right? I
Oh,
think we had two platforms in 1996,
yeah.
and nothing has changed there. So until we bump that and get that out of the way, that will help.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, nothing has changed with that in years, but things are happening now behind the scenes. There is a
Mhm.
piece of legislation to sunset Section 230, but we've also, to give a little hope, we recently had two court cases that were very successful, one in New Mexico, and that was about children's, data information being shared, and it shouldn't,
Mhm.
kind of bottom line it, and the other in California, as far as a product liability. They are
Mhm.
willingly, Meta putting out a product that is harmful to children. And we know this because we have whistleblowers. We know this from internal memos. So I
Mhm.
think the pendulum, and there's thousands of lawsuits just waiting. Some are
Yes,
in courts, some are like backed up as we're talking. There's probably another thousand, right?
for
They
sure.
know they do this. So until they're held accountable in some fashion, it's a very crass answer because people will say, why is this happening? Why is this allowed? Because it's allowed right now. There's nothing stopping them, and they're making tons of money.
So much
And they
money.
have such influence on Capitol Hill. They have lobbyists.
Mhm.
So until we put a piece of legislation, some guardrails, because the playbook, this is where I started, but then I went off somewhere. The playbook of big Layne, get used to it. That's what happens with me. But no, but the playbook of big tech is their only argument always is blame the parents. That's their whole
Uh-huh.
argument. And their bots or whoever these people are following them, blame the parents, be a better parent, watch your kids. There are safety features. We know a lot of these safety features are designed intentionally to be very difficult to even
Yeah.
put on the devices, or we know some of them don't really work. So
Mhm.
parents might see a glossy kind of press release from a company and oh goodness, they put on some more, safety things for Instagrams, but it's just propaganda kind of. It doesn't really work, or it's just always if something's going to come out in the media or a lawsuit's happening. I've noticed they always come out with something like right before, but the
Right.
stuff doesn't work. And then we have our overwhelmed parents who think, oh, good, child safety measure, but it's not
Right.
happening. Talk about what some of the other, there's some fun stuff on there. I like the idea when you say, parents. I think
Mhm.
parents then don't feel alone. We know
Yeah.
there's power in numbers, to use those old
There are.
fashioned words, right?
There are.
And I've seen when parents get together, they feel so comfortable to discuss and strategize and brainstorm and again talk about things, right? So I like the idea of building this whole like coalition of parents that should be at the table, right?
Yes.
Controlling
Absolutely.
this, with their lived experiences and things like that. Tell us what else is on the platform because I saw some very interesting things on the website.
Yes, so it's split into three sections focused on crisis, prevention, and advocacy. So, crisis, getting parents help when something scary has already happened, such as my daughter is being groomed online. How do I handle this situation? I think that my son is looking at pornography. How do I talk to him? Then there's prevention, and that focuses on getting parents resources on things such as screen time limits. How do I navigate these really complicated product safety guidelines? What do I do? And then third is advocacy. So giving parents quick actions to take in their home, in their community, and on Capitol Hill. That's kind of the three things that are our platform focuses
So
on.
tense. I saw something about, correct me, no, I saw it. Something about a party. Am I wrong? Or like
Oh,
getting together in like your community,
okay, so
something
yes,
like that. I'm sorry, I
yes,
don't have. I just remember seeing. Oh, I'm like
parties
that's
with a purpose. Yep,
part of the purpose.
yep.
I'm like that's a
No,
good
you're
idea.
right on, Lynn. Yes.
Party
That's
with
our
purpose.
next phase now that we have the tool out there and we're trying to get it to as many parents as possible. We'll be doing parties with a purpose. And this is a way to gather people in your community to come together to hear about the Parent Center and how to protect your children online. And then from there, people who go to that event can hold parties of their own. It's a way to really spread the word and raise awareness of this great tool that can help you as a parent and save your child.
Yeah, parentcenter.org. And there's a place to sign up, correct?
There
Where
is.
they
Yep.
can, because things are unfolding now. I mean, you just launched. So a lot
Yeah.
of stuff is coming down the pike. Have you heard, Layne, about this? I'm very happy about it, excited actually. This pencil to paper movement that parents, it's driven by parents. It's kind of underground, like media hasn't really covered it. Where the parents are demanding, get the Chromebooks out of the classrooms and
Yes.
like, we want to go back to a textbook and to an actual
Mhm.
package of like assignments. And like, we're hearing like, oh, kids are thinking this is cool now, like to get this
Yeah.
package of papers to bring home. And because I think that is something like we should all be working on. And the state of Pennsylvania just announced that their governor, that he wants textbooks back. He wants writing. He's demanding that cursive writing be taught again. Because for years, kids don't know how to write.
Isn't
What
that
are you
so
hearing about
so
it?
crazy?
We work with a lot of teachers, and they're like, a child can't hold a pencil, and they're like in the 8th grade. I'm like, what do you mean? They hold them with a fist. They're scrolling all the time, so they don't know how to hold pencils, and they can't track either when they read because they're
Yeah.
look, and they got the tech
Goes
nets
up,
because.
down instead of left, right? Yeah.
What do you hear about all this stuff?
No, right along with you. You hear movements of parents doing things, and that's when real change happens, is when people gather.
Of
Like things
course.
like this and get it in the news and I'm all about it. Yes, I think there's so much good that can come from getting a child away from looking at a screen all day long, and I think
Yeah.
that's where we should be headed.
Oh, but I'm saying the pendulum, I'm seeing it because I work across the
Oh,
country, and
wow.
it's slightly swinging
It
back, but
is.
it really is. And it's hard to even recognize with the work we do, right? Because it's so intense and all that. But I'm telling you, in the last year, especially, I am seeing a big uptick in even young people like 30 and under pushing back. Like we've been used as guinea pigs. So now we're going to
Absolutely.
push back. Look, we both know we're pro innovation, we're pro technology, but we
Mhm.
want safety and some guardrails for our
Yeah.
kids.
And
And
I
that
think
means, yeah, go ahead.
no, I just was saying, at my generation, I feel like we grew up with before we knew the harms of social media.
You did.
I got Instagram before I knew exactly what it was, when it was just I was putting a picture online to show my mom in a new way. I thought this was so fun. And next thing you know, it's incredibly addictive. Even, you can just go on Reels all day long if you'd like. And it's very different than it was at its start. And I think that we're seeing we don't want this for our children. We don't want this for the next generation. We want them to have more boundaries and we want to protect them in that way. And so I see a pendulum swing as well. And it fills me with hope. It is easy, to your point, in our work to think of like all the things that are going wrong and we have to focus on this and that. And we're hearing from parents this and that. But if you take a step back, it,
Yes.
it's really incredible to see people realizing this is something we're going to fight against. We want to protect our kids. We care about them. And I think good things are coming.
Absolutely. We have the parent center now. It's
We do.
excellent.
Parent
But
Center.
no, but the states have done some wonderful work and are doing in child protection legislation, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, AI is knocking on the door and trying to infiltrate everybody, but we're holding it at bay. A lot of people are not happy, the general public, with all of this AI. It's
Mm-hmm.
something like 80-90% of Americans are not thrilled about AI. I don't know what you've heard. This is what I'm hearing. And so that gives me hope as well. It won't go away, but we'll push back. We'll find out in the schools, like what exactly, because I ask teachers, like, okay, AI, you're putting in the classrooms, like what is it? What are you doing with it? And they're like, well, we don't even know. Like I'm like, okay, well, we have to know what's happening. So
We're
parents have
set.
to get in there as well
Mm-hmm.
and respectfully ask, their child's in the school. How are you dealing with AI? What will my child be learning? All
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things like that. This is so important to have this parent center. Let's talk about address a parent right now who's listening. Leave them with something. Obviously, we want everyone to go to the parent center, and I'll have all the information in the body of this video. They can take their time, read, sign up. They can volunteer. I believe there's a donate button. I think I saw a donate button somewhere on the site.
There
Am I
is.
correct? Yes.
You're correct.
Yeah, I did a quick scan, but I saw a donate button.
Yes.
All hands on deck, everybody out there. We're calling all warriors, but leave us right now with something you want everybody to really focus on with all of this, because again, there is so much. We're throwing at everybody in 30 minutes. That we'll take it a piece at a time and we'll build from there.
Yes. I think I would just tell a parent that there is so much fear-based messaging out there and that it's easy to feel overwhelmed and like this is out of your control. And I want you to know that this is not your fault, that the accountability needs to be put on these tech companies. And together, that's exactly what we're going to do. But in the meantime, we're going to help you at the Parent Center to give you trusted resources, trusted help, and step-by-step guidelines to protect your family. And that this is a hopeful thing, that things are going to get better as we hold these tech companies accountable and take it day by day.
I like that. That made me happy. But Shill, you're the director of the Parent Center. Our discussion reminds us that protecting children online is not merely about technology, right? It's about humans. It's about families, and ultimately a cultural issue as well. I mean, that's another program. We'll have part two.
No, it really is.
But you representing the Parent Center at NCOSE, at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, is a really great first step. Again, I'm calling it one-stop shopping. I hope you like that, because that's what our warriors understand. That they'll just understand that when I talk like that. Giving us the tools and the confidence, and for you being at the helm and leading this, we appreciate it so much, and we thank you so much. Layne Shill, finish this up. Anything you want to, final thoughts, anything you want to share with us?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate Lynn's Warriors and that there's people out there that really care about these issues and care about preventing exploitation. That gives me hope. And I'm grateful to be here. So thank you, Lynn.
Thanks, Layne. And promise me you'll come back. We'll talk again soon, because there's so much always to talk about that. I want to make sure you're on the roster at all times. So promise me, I'm going to hold you to it.
I promise. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Layne. We'll talk again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.